What if I told you that the real story of African diplomacy isn't written in speeches or agreements, but captured in a single photograph? A photograph where who stands, who sits, and who waits tells you everything about respect, power, and Africa's future. In Washington's Oval Office, two African delegations met with the same American president. But the difference in how they stood in that room speaks volumes. On one side, an ambassador from Burkina Faso stood shoulder to shoulder, representing the new pride of the Sahel. On the other, three African presidents were positioned like an audience, standing behind a desk as mere participants in their own meeting. This isn't just about protocol. This is about posture. This is about Africa's silent struggle for dignity in the global arena. Today, we break down the hidden power dynamics captured in these two images, and why the Alliance of Sahel States is quietly reshaping how Africa presents itself to the world. In diplomacy, the unspoken language of posture and presence often says more than official statements. The way leaders stand, the spaces they occupy, and how they engage in a room of power reveals the true dynamics of respect, or the absence of it. Today, we analyze two images from the Oval Office of the White House, two moments that silently define how African leadership is either asserting itself or being placed in the background. In the first image, we see General Kassoum Coulibaly, Burkina Faso's ambassador to the United States, standing tall beside former U.S. President Donald Trump. Coulibaly, representing the Alliance of Sahel States, AES, presents his credentials with a calm, firm posture. Dressed in his traditional attire, with no podiums, no barriers, and no unnecessary crowd, Coulibaly's presence is clear and direct. The photograph is simple, yet powerful. Two men side by side, exchanging respect as equals. This is what diplomacy looks like when it is carried by self-assurance and national pride. Contrast this with another moment in the same room. Here, we find the presidents of Mauritania Mohamed Ould Ghazouani, Gabon Brice Oligui Nguema, and Senegal Bassirou Diomaye Faye, standing in a line behind Donald Trump, who remains comfortably seated at his desk. The visual arrangement is striking. The U.S. president commands the foreground, firmly positioned at his seat of authority, while the African leaders are placed in the background, standing as a collective delegation, almost like observers awaiting direction. No doubt, diplomatic protocol varies from meeting to meeting. But in this instance, the visual message cannot be ignored. The desk becomes a line of separation, with one side in command and the other in wait. It is a scene that has repeated itself in many African diplomatic visits, where presence becomes ceremonial rather than powerful. General Coulibaly's meeting broke this mold. He did not wait behind a desk, nor did he fade into a crowd. He represented Burkina Faso and the Sahel with a clear sense of purpose, standing firm in a room where many have stood cautiously. His image speaks of a new African confidence, a confidence that does not seek validation, but commands it through self-respect. The presidents in the group photo are respected leaders in their own right, yet the atmosphere in that scene reflects a posture of courtesy, not of equal footing. Meanwhile, the Sahel, through representatives like Coulibaly, is teaching Africa that dignity is not given, it is projected. As Africa stands at a diplomatic crossroads, we are faced with a choice. Do we continue the path of cautious engagement, always standing behind the desk, or do we step forward, face to face, on equal terms? The Sahel has chosen its path. The question is, who will follow? Africa's future will not be shaped by who is seated where, but by who dares to stand tall.